Who do you turn to, look up to, or call when you're having a bad day or need advice? Most might say their friends, siblings, boyfriend. My answer, every time, would be my grandmother, also known as my mama. Having her as a grandmother for 26 years has been like waking up in the morning to the smell of homemade gravy and biscuits in a cast iron skillet. Today, I plan to paint you a picture as to why my sweet-talking Southern mama deserves all the praise and overdue recognition. My mama is one of the most determined and independent women I have ever known. Her daughter says her mother was determined with raising the best kids, determined to be a good wife, and determined to be a good Christian. She was married at the age of 17, became a young mother at 18, and had a total of 3 children by the age of 25. Most young adults these days are still living at home, in college, or just hanging out with no direction or set goals in life. But my grandmother was living below the poverty line, working and raising 3 kids almost alone while my grandfather was in the military. She's now 75 years old, but is convinced that she's going to live another 25 years. She's well acquainted with grief, being widowed twice, but still embraces life to the fullest and is hopeful for the future. When asking my grandmother what her accomplishments in life were, she will always tell you her 3 beautiful children, her grandchildren, and becoming a Christian at the age of 19. When I think of my grandmother's greatest accomplishments, I think of her drive to go back to school. She dropped out of high school at 17, but returned to night classes at the age of 21 and obtained a high school diploma. At a young age, my grandmother always wanted to go to college, but was told it was unattainable because she was raised in poverty. People of my grandmother's generation didn't always acquire a degree because they had children young and worked to make a living and were stay-at-home moms. This, to me, makes my grandmother uniquely different, and that one of her aspirations was getting a college degree, breaking that cycle of poverty in her family. However, it's not only that she ended up with a degree, but how she obtained it. She had no money to enroll in college, but her sheer determination led her to start at Harvard Mall and head down Route 1, going towards Baltimore, stopping at every bank, until finally finding one to help her acquire a Sallie Mae loan. She enrolled at the age of 38 and graduated with high honors from Towson University and received a master's degree in social work at the age of 44. My grandmother worked hard in her field as a clinical social worker and therapist until the age of 66. She lived by her favorite quote, "When you know what you want and you want it bad enough, you will find a way to get it." It saddens me these days when I hear about broken families or ones that just aren't close to each other. However, happy or angry, close or distant, sick or healthy, rich or poor, my mama is always there for our family. My grandmother goes out of her way to ensure all her grandkids have the things that they need and often the things that they want. She bought mine and my brother's laptops for college, school clothes growing up, and even helped me with the down payment on my first house. When I think about how I will raise my children, I always think of the support, love, and compassion that was given to my family and I by my mama. Most people don't fight hard enough for what they love, but my grandmother does nothing but that. When my dad was in hospice, my grandmother was told no one was allowed to stay and spend the night with residents, but there was no way she was leaving her son's side. My dad always told my grandmother no one ever takes care of him the way that she did. My strong-willed grandmother made the staff agree to letting her stay. Little did they know that she was going to be moving her recliner in and staying by his side for the next 3 months. My grandmother said she was there when he took his first breath and would be there when he took his last. And that's exactly what she did. My grandmother is like a mama bear with her cubs, protective, loving, and never leaves their side. There are not enough words to describe the recognition that I feel my 75-year-old, gray-haired, soft-spoken mama deserves. I hope inspires you as much as it has me in describing how one person changed the value and love we have for family and the strength to pursue things you want in life. Thank you.